Hey folks, hope y'all are having a good day. The dog is having an excited day. Let's go ahead and see if we can finish up this story today. Let's see how that goes. See how it goes today. Make this guy just a little bit better. Yeah. Kids are playing. It's generally a good day. Put some light in here. The light. The light is too bright. And during daylight, I actually really don't like this room very much. I'm only usually in here at night, which is how I prefer it. All right, let me find this document. Picking up from where we left off. Where's my chat window? So what's the topic? Topic is I'm going to write this story live, which is what I've been doing. That's the topic. If you want other topics, I don't know, bad translations. Unicorn Overlord, which is a game I was pretty excited to buy. I played a little bit of the demo. I might live stream the demo just to show what I'm talking about with the dialogue. It's a bad translation. And it's bad in a way that never needed to be bad. Not just like it's mistranslated. It's not like that they're inserting a lot of woke garbage into the game. It's that they're writing, right? So they're changing the dialogue to be like this pseudo early modern English, and it's all bad. Like it's just really bad writing. So it's like 8th, 9th grade level writing instead of just translating the Japanese with the proper, authorial intent. So you can talk about that. That's an interesting little topic. It's too bad because they said that they're never planning on having a PC release, which means like a fan solution to bad translations or to translations in general. Like there's a fan translation of Final Fantasy V that is probably better than the one you get on PS1. But you're never going to really have the option to do like a PC mod that does a fan translation. Because consoles are just locked down that way. So you either have to play it in Japanese. As someone suggested on Twitter, buy the Japanese version from Japan so that it's not linked up. It doesn't have the English localization. But I don't know if it won't have it. Like you might buy it in Japan and it still has the English option. And then translate the Japanese or use like a fan translation guide. If you're not fluent in Japanese, which I'm not. I know a little bit of Japanese, but I mean, it's a learning opportunity too. It's like, a lot of people that are interested in Japanese games would like to study Japanese. They don't but it's like they're not fluent. So it'd be nice to play something in your native language, considering it's a big market and they're offering it in your native language. So it'd be nice if it was actually a good translation and it wasn't bad writers pasting their own bad versions of dialogue on top of what should be fairly straightforward translations. There's numerous examples you can look up on Twitter. The company that did the localization has already locked down all their stuff because they were getting so much pushback from people who bought the game. We're like, why did you do this? Like, this seems really absurd. So it's not just that like it's inaccurate. There's been debate about translations for like 30 years at least. So it's not just that like it's wrong, it's that because there's that, they paste things on top of it. It's that like they replace the dialogue with just a bunch of word salad, pseudo early modern nonsense. It's really bad. It was one I was looking forward to. Yeah, I wouldn't say, oddly, I'm not sure if I would say this company does it because they hate us. They might. But I think they're doing it because they have delusions. about what their job is. They're inserting artistic intent where none is needed nor desired by the market. That's all. And they're bad at it, right? It like when you look at it, you're like, this is like what a ninth grader would think fantasy characters are supposed to speak like, based on reading like one chapter of the Silmarillion and watching a film adaptation of part of Ivanhoe. You know? So it's really, and like remembering half of a act of Shakespeare from high school. You know, that's what the dialogue comes off as. It's not good. Why would you do that? Your audience is not early modern English speakers. They're just regular English speakers. The Japanese doesn't have some sort of archaic intent behind its usage. It's just modern vernacular Japanese. So you should just translate it into modern vernacular English and keep it simple, stupid. You know what I'm saying? That's all. All right, let me see if I can find the right little setup here. This is it. Might actually get my glasses on today. Whoops, no. One thing I don't like about Windows, well, really any Windows after like Windows 7, is like the documents constantly trying to snap to certain places on the screen. Like, why? Why do you have that? I don't need that or want that. You know? Kind of weird. Don't know why they do it. Let me get my glasses on for this. This is something I recorded last night, by the way. This music. Can I get a rundown on what book we're talking about, please? It's a game, Unicorn Overlord. It's an Atlas game. Published by Sega. I hired an American translation company and they borked it. Inserted their ego into what should have been a pretty... You know, it's like they're doing more work to do bad writing. You know what I'm saying? Just do some... Just keep it simple. That's what people want. You know, we want it to be accurate. You don't want it to be a bunch of garbage. It's kind of funny because, like, there are certain manga translators that, like, do really annoying things. So one of them was the guy who translated both Berserk and Hellsing. Gave Father What's-His-Face. I want to say Callahan, but that's a Stephen King character. Anyway, making him speak in phonetic Irish accent the entire time. It makes it just way harder to read. Don't write things in patois. Don't write things in like a written Scottish accent. Don't write things in Scots. Write them in English. You can hint at the pronunciation if it's, you know, if you really want to point out that he's a country bumpkin, you can put in a couple things that would indicate that he's talking like a rural English peasant, but don't put like a bunch of what, you know, like glottal stop apostrophes all through it. It just makes it unreadable. It's really annoying to have all that stuff in there. You know, I recommend against it. Into the noisome darkness sounds weird, but I think it works for this. Oh no. How do you spell noisome? There it is. Strange torches, strange lanterns. They're not really torches. Fire Emblem has been borked too with translators and people with egos on localization. I think the Fire Emblem Engage translation was somewhat controversial. Looking at it, I think it was far less borked than Unicorn Overlord probably is. They definitely, like, the things that people objected to was like they took romances out of certain character combinations, which they haven't done in the past because of Western sensibilities about like what the character's age was. You know, because like Anna's a little girl basically in the game, so they don't want to be like you're marrying Anna. But they've had it in the past, like you could marry Elise, who was basically a child, right? Naui's the weird one from Fire Emblem Awakening because she looks like a teenager, but she's like a 2,000-year-old dragon, and she acts like a kid. It's really weird. It's like, haha, I'm a child, but not. Weird. Isn't Nintendo of America notorious for ruining translations? They're known for not doing great translations. Yeah, I'd say so. My Discord FEH channel. What does FEH stand for? Fire Emblem Heroes? Yeah, this is my music in the background. I'll link you the video. If you're not subscribed to the channel, it's all stuff like this. Silly question, but does one have to write the book in order? I feel like doing the juicy plot bits and the conclusion first and coming back to the initial setup later. Yeah, no, you can do that. I've known several writers who write the scene that they're feeling when they feel like writing it, and then they write the whole thing out of order. It's a lot easier to do with a screenplay, I think, because it just is. There's less details to communicate sometimes. But you could certainly do it with a book. up another one. Let's see here. How did you configure the page layout? Did you use the Manuscript template in Word or configure your own? I always use my own. Let's look at this. I'm not even sure which one I'm using. So, layout. Let's go size. Hopefully this doesn't crash the program. Anytime there's like a little lag, I'm like, uh-oh, did Word crash? Word almost never crashes, but I feel like programs just unexpectedly don't work these days, and that's how it's getting. It could be something where it's trying to call a server right now, so it hangs up whenever it tries to call a server. There's a couple things in Word that do this now. It's trying to phone home all the time. Really, I mean, I should just use Word. There it is. Should just use Word 2010 again. Like, modern Word continues to get like less useful. The main reason I use it is because it has a really good cloud save feature. Like, it's blinking now. I don't know what is going on. It has a really good cloud save feature that, yeah, restart it. All right. Let's go. This one. Don't know why it did that. And I feel like software gets like less usable as we go on here. It's very frustrating. Oh, my camera went out of focus. It's dumb. And it zoomed back out. Zoom it in a bit. Focus hit. There we go. Apply. Okay. A little better. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I use it because I will do a lot of stuff on my phone. Not this kind of stuff, but a lot of... see if it does it again, I'm going to be really upset. You know, a lot of like articles and stuff I'll work on my phone. That kind of stuff. I think I have it set up as a 5x8. Anyway, that's the... It'd be funny if like Microsoft Word broke live. You know, we'll go open it up in Microsoft Word 2010. It's really stupid that I would have to do that. There it goes. Here we go. It's set up as a 5x8. Yeah, this is like my basic paperback setup. I don't know why I set it up that way, but I did. So there you go. I don't use any of their templates, and I don't use their manuscript. Manuscript format, you should actually look at what like magazines would want you to, submit it as. A lot of times, like double space Times New Roman. Some people want Courier, even though Courier looks awful and it's terrible to read. But whatever. Usually Times New Roman is the standard. I write everything single spaced if I'm actually drafting, because you could see more words. I hate double spacing. I intensely dislike double spacing as a reader. You have double spacing as if I'm having kids write me a paper for a college class, I have double spacing so you could write in between the lines. That's why you do double spacing. What do you think of OpenOffice or LibreOffice? I don't use them. I just use old Microsoft Word. I had OpenOffice, but like I don't see any reason to use it personally. But if you're looking to not spend any money, it's fine. What are the steps to follow for a 5x8? Okay, I'll show you real quick. Go to more paper sizes. You go paper size. It's going to be custom size. Width 5, height 8. Okay. Margins. 0.5 on everything, gutter 0.2. Now the gutter can be more if you're going to have more than like 200 pages. So if it's a thicker book, you want a higher gutter. Multiple pages are going to be mirror margins. You're of course going to apply it to the whole document. You want a portrait. Okay, it should look exactly like what is on my screen. Layout. Section start should be new page. Now you can have it be whatever you want, but for setting up your page numbers, you want it to be a new page. Okay. Header and footer, 0.3 or 0.25 works. Okay. Different odd and even and different first page. This has to do with how you're going to format your page numbers and your stuff that's up on the top. I'll go into more detail on this when we get to the publication stage of this thing, but if you just want a quick thing here it is. Okay. Then basically when you do your page numbers, you won't have a page number on the first page of a chapter. There'll be no page number, but there'll be page numbers on every other page. And you won't see the page numbers prior to like page 1. So I'll go through how to format all that when we actually publish it. But I have videos on that as well. So you can search my channel for videos. Very straightforward, very technical videos on how to format everything that you need to publish on Amazon, which is going to be your main platform. Okay. And by the way, you can keep this format and just use it as the ebook as well. It used to be I had a separate thing for ebooks. I don't do that anymore because ebook formatting includes more stuff, including drop caps. So I just have one file for the paperback and the ebook, and I just upload the Word document, and it just turns it into an ebook. I don't really have to I barely have to change anything if I'm changing anything. And the only things I usually have to change are like if I have like pictures somewhere in the text, then I might have to do a little bit of work to make it work, Otherwise, no. What's up, Kyle? Yeah, Word Perfect. Word Perfect is like pretty classic. I think I heard that George R.R. Martin writes his books like on an Amiga computer still, which I just think is awesome if he actually does that. That would be extremely cool for him to do. It's right. I should like get out like my Mac from like the 1990s. Get a Mac Plus, write everything on a Mac Plus. You know what I'm saying? Oh, WordStar, yeah. Go back and use ClarisWorks. Do everything in ClarisWorks. ClarisWorks was good. It had like basically all. You guys realize that like most word processors haven't added any features in like a lot of years. So, you know. LibreOffice is great if you tweak certain settings. It becomes almost indistinguishable from Microsoft Office. I've heard some say it's actually better because Microsoft Office has too many bugs now. Yeah, like I've had bugs today. But you know, you can still use Microsoft Office 2010, which is like the last, I think, just like regular release where you could buy it, and it still works for like everything that I do. The only reason I don't use it is that I like the cloud saving is really pretty functional for what I do, and then. There's certain little bugs. There's one bug in particular that drives me crazy about Word 2010. It will insert blank pages into your document, which is very frustrating when you're trying to make a print PDF. They have random blank pages put in that you can't see and you can't delete without doing a whole bunch of extra work. Don't know why it does that. It's been a bug, but they kind of fixed it in newer ones. That's the only problem with Microsoft Word 2010 is that it inserts blank pages. It inserts blank pages. This is a basic thing. It should not insert blank pages unless I want a blank page. Actually, little effort. I heard it loud. I'm not sure if I want to reference Michael Moorcock here or not. I'm not sure if anyone would get it. All right. Good. Got some stuff here. Oh, let's see what we're gonna pick that one.
They don't want you to know this.
There's an ad.
Drivers,
They don't want you to know this. That's this video. Doo-doo-doo. Playing the old Parker Fly. Now my dogs are upset. Might do a different song. I've heard this one a lot already. Let's bring up the channel. Let's find some more here. Sleep. What's a good one? Swamp of Sorrows. No, Arcane Revelation. There's a good one. Have you ever thought of making an official soundtrack to any of your book series? People have asked about that. It's a lot of work. It's just a lot of work. And books aren't an audio medium, so I don't really. I mean, like I can make music that's inspired by my own work. I would do that, you know. I don't know if I would call it like a soundtrack to the book, though. When we see the return of the Hello Kitty guitar, you were playing it wickedly in that video. It's in the other room. I'm not sure how I want to set it up right now. I kind of wanted to set it up like... I don't know. I don't know how I want to set it up. Set it up. I could set it up with like... I don't know, for death metal or something. It only has that one pickup, which is cool for some things, but for a lot of the stuff I do, I need a lot more tonal options. So yeah, I mean, I could do music that has to do with... It's just a lot of work, and I don't know how... I don't know if people will be interested in tie-in music. It's an interesting idea. What I'd probably rather do, though, is like make a game and just do the soundtrack for the game. You know? Boy, my poor old dog is upset. I might check on him. That's that one. Yeah, I'll probably do a visual novel. I got to tie up some other stuff in the book realm first before I'm comfortable doing a visual novel. You know, so it's one of those, like, if not now, when? The answer is when I put out these next, like, 4 books. Then I feel like I could take a little bit of a break from the whole publishing thing. I mean, the book business is so bad right now. Really, not just for me, for almost everyone, that... there's not a lot of reason to try to play the Amazon game, especially, and do like a lot of rapid release, like blowing hard on your books kind of stuff. There's no reason to do that. And if you're going with like a neo-patronage model, you can do lots of things, right? It's not just writing books. So I could probably get people who want to take part, want to be part of the patronage network for me making a visual novel, and would like to participate in that and beta test it and that kind of stuff. And that might be really fun to do. But I got to finish up the next couple books, because otherwise I got to get them off of my queue. Like, they've been hanging over my head for years at this point, and I just got to clear them out, because I've been too kind of scattered trying to do different things in the business rather than just finishing all the series that I have either like drafts for or just haven't finished. You know what I mean? So that's one thing. I'm going to check on these dogs real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, we're back. Sorry, the kids were in the backyard, so the dogs wanted to go play. All the neighbor kids. All right, where were we? All right. Let's see here. I think how long have we been doing this? Oh, an hour. Yeah, man, we're at the climax. So let me see if I can finish this up. What made you want to start writing? I felt like it. It's the best thing I can tell you. I wanted to do it. I wanted to create things. Have you published nonfiction? Yes. Keys to Prolific Creativity. This book. You actually get this for free if you're on my Patreon. Have you ever considered that the description is never the described? That there is an ultimate and inherent limitation in any symbolic language and its concepts. So this is very old stuff. I mean, you can read Plato if you want, like deeper exploration of that, or if you want more modern, modern. St. Thomas Aquinas. So yeah, is the description the described? If I say it's an orange, you have an idea of a category of oranges. So our very idea of categories, language is something that is a medium that exists between us for us to communicate ideas about categories, for us to describe things which we both have an idea of what that category is. That's sort of the source of spiritual knowledge, is that we can categorize trees. What is that? On a speaker on my wife's desk. We can categorize trees and dogs. We don't necessarily categorize everything the same way, though. There's ads on my videos, even though they're not monetized. Right? Like people who grew up seeing certain kinds of dogs, if they saw a different kind of dog, would they think it's a dog? That's actually a really interesting question to think about asking, because if I say a dog is a category of things. So whenever we're giving descriptions, we are attaching categories to something. And so the more categories we attach, the more fine the description of it. But the only way that we can know the thing itself is through sensing it, right? So we're describing like our sense data. So can my description of a lamp be the lamp? No, because you're not sensing the lamp, right? You're only sensing the words that are coming out of my mouth. So you can hear the words, you can sense the words, but you can't sense the lamp through my words. But you can, through your spiritual knowledge, understand enough categories that you can have an idea of what the lamp looks like, or any other kind of object. If I say, is a dog. Let's put a bunch of categories to a dog. It's a dog, so that's a category of object, right? It's medium-sized. It's brown with white spots. It has floppy ears and a long nose and drooping jowls. It has white paws and long legs, and it's a lean, muscular animal. Its tail stands straight up, and it's longer than average, and it has a white tip. The hair is short and bristly, but is also sleek and smooth. All right, I'm just giving you a bunch of quality descriptors. Those qualities are sort of more abstract categories. Eventually, you have an idea of what the dog might look like, but the only way to know the dog is to look at the dog and touch the dog, right? To sense the dog. So language is something that we use to move sensory data between ourselves and over time. Not in an exact way, but in a way that evokes our knowledge of categories, our spiritual knowledge, in a way that we can reconstruct ideas, places, times. If I give you directions on where to go, right, I'm transmitting information to you. So that's what language is. One of the dangers of newspeak and doublethink in the modern age is that if you can control language and you can tear apart language and you can get people to forget what language means, at least that's what the attempt is, then you can make that category that language is attempting to access inaccessible. This is where the stuff gets really dangerous, just to get on a little rant here, right? Makes it inaccessible. So let's say we have a really abstract category like justice. So when we talk about like what is justice, we start assigning a bunch of other categories to things. We're like, well, justice is when somebody does something wrong and then the other person has something bad happen to them as punishment. Is that justice? We might describe that as justice. Well, how do we know something is wrong? Whoa, there's a big can of worms, right? We have a lot of stuff to unpack before we get to justice. But if we simply make the very concept of justice perverted through making certain words used to describe it illegal, then people really have no way to like firmly grasp what justice is. They might grasp justice in a spiritual sense, like in the fact that they're God's children and they're made in the image and likeness of God. They have an idea of what justice ought to be. I think kids have a great idea of what justice is like ought to be. They know that's why they're obsessed with fairness rather than like the real world, which isn't fair. Fairness is something that is like godly, right? Justice is something that is a piece of God's intellect. Anyway, we have something like social justice. Social justice? What the hell word are you attaching to justice? What does the social part mean? Well, to me, the immediate thing would be like, okay, you're sticking two categories together, justice and social. So it's just justice of people. It's people's justice. That doesn't sound too bad. But what they mean by it is it's actually antisocial injustice. It's against the people, and it's not justice at all. It's the inverse of justice. The person who's done something wrong doesn't have anything bad done to them because he died 300 years ago, and the person today who's done nothing wrong has bad things done to him because of someone else who hates him, who's antisocial towards him, right? That's social justice. It's antisocial injustice. But, it's one of these things about newspeak that once you're aware of it and you're aware of people trying to control the use of language, especially in schools and things like that, the point is to make it harder to access those abstract categories that we need to discuss and try to define for our society to exist, really. They don't want you to know what justice is because they want to do things that are unjust. They don't want you to think about what rights are because they want to violate your rights. There's a whole like rat's nest of tangled ideas. That's why liberals talk in such word salad nonsense all the time. They can't talk in plain terms because they're trying to avoid categories which would really make their position wicked or bad. You know what I mean? Yeah, their categories of trees are not the trees, right? But if you know what a tree is, That means you're actually like grasping a piece of like a transcendent idea. Right? It's not the tree. Like you can only know the tree by seeing the tree and like touching the tree. Thanks for the cool report. Language are signs to reality that one must travel to, but are not reality itself. And here's the other thing about language. It's outside of you. Me talking in English right now is making an assumption that you know English and that the meanings of the words, the concepts that those words are pointing to, are the same concepts that I'm thinking of when I say those words. So when people talk about changing the meaning of words, this is like an anti-linguistic idea. Oh, we're going to change the meaning of words. You can't just change the meaning of words. The meaning of what somebody says doesn't change. It's what it meant at the time between that person and the person they were talking to. That's what the word means. Do this with constitutional law. What does the Constitution mean? It means what it says it means, and nothing else. It means what those words meant when the document was written, not what you wish the words to mean in 2020. You can't say, oh, well, we're going to define rights to mean something else in 2020. Now the Constitution can mean what we want it to mean. It's not a living document. It's dead. Otherwise, they wouldn't have written it down. It would have just been a living tradition. But even then, traditions, when you like get into like theology, it's like, no, the tradition is not living. The tradition is the tradition. It's like our job is to try to preserve it, not change it, not add to it, not let it live through the times, but to preserve it. All right. Let's see here. Did you speak on Akira Toriyama's death? I didn't. There's not that much to say, though, right? That other people haven't said. He died of like a brain hemorrhage called a subdermal hematoma, which is where you have a blood vessel that basically bleeds into your brain and the compression kills you. I had a neighbor across the street from me die of this. You can die really suddenly of it. It's one of these things. And I have a friend from college who almost died of it. He was just saved. And the way they saved you is they have to drill a hole in your head to let the blood out. Right. This can happen after a head injury, but it can just happen spontaneously too. So I had a neighbor. He lived across the street from me. He said he had a really bad headache. He went and laid down. And he never woke up again. Went and laid down. He was feeling sick. I think he threw up one time and died. There's the Japanese singer Buck Tick that also died from the same thing. Yeah, it's like a... So what it is there's like usually a blood vessel that gets an aneurysm. It gets like puffed up like a balloon. And if that bursts, you'll get a hemorrhage on the brain and the whole cranial cavity will start to fill up with blood and press on your brain. Depending on where it happens, you may have more time. So I had a friend that this happened to. He got really nauseated. People knew what it was. They rushed him to the hospital. It hadn't gone far enough. They were able to like alleviate the pressure. They drill a hole in your head. Crazy, right? And but that alleviates the pressure, and then they can repair the blood vessel. And you can live. And he was initially like in the hospital for a long time, and he was like paralyzed on half of his body. He couldn't move. It's like having a stroke because it had damaged that part of his brain, like one side of his brain. But he eventually like regained full use of his hands and stuff. So he was really lucky to survive. But yeah, it's a thing. I've known 2 people that it's happened to in my life. Really crazy. It was October last year, so I wonder how come it is. I don't know. Do you make chiptune music? I don't, but I could. I've always wanted to do more chiptune stuff. I just haven't really done it, you know. It's really cool how you're just straight up writing. I always think authors took a couple days to write a paragraph. Maybe they do. I don't know. I really kind of want to finish this off today so that I can get to like the other parts of the process. Be like 15,000 words maybe. Kind of slightly too long to publish in a magazine, but I'll just put it out as like a mini book, like Garamesh, you know. It's a little 2-hour read. It'll be a little thin book, a lot thinner than this. Just put it out like that. Chiptune music's fun. I got to put together some synths that I think are good for it. You can actually duplicate a lot of the sounds of NES stuff on a free synth plugin that you can run called Synth One. It does a pretty good job with chiptune sounds, basic AM synthesis like what you'd have on the NES. The harder part is like getting the vibe of the sampled sounds from the Super Nintendo. Those are a little harder, but you can do it. It'd be cool if somebody just made like a chiptune synth set that would just like get that, plug in, and then, you know, play it, and you're good to go. You know what I'm saying? What's your favorite book? I don't have one. I don't really have one. Maybe The Hobbit. I don't know. Oh, that's a good one. That's another one. The best of. Bird. Buried. How do you spell buried? There we go. 1 R. 1 R for buried. Not 2 R's. I have 2 things going on at once here. It's a little weird. Oh, I see what I was doing with this song. I'm having a key change. There's a key change going on right here. It's a little weird. Yeah. I got another one that's a little more laid back. You have a set time that you usually write? Yeah, just whenever I could finish all my stuff for the day. It's not necessarily a set time, it's just like after my other priorities, you know? What's this? There's another one that I haven't done in a while, this one. Kind of a long one, though. Renewed my grip on her throat so she could speak no more. Why doesn't it always do... Sometimes it does straight quotes, and I don't know why. There's some people write in the morning or evening and stick with that out of habit. Whatever works for you. Talk about it in the book, you know. For a lot of people, it's just like pick a time, do it every day is probably good. For me, it's like I have to get my kids to sleep usually, and then I work out, and then I'll write, and then I'll either read or play a game and go to sleep. And then for like writing all the nonfiction stuff on the Substack, which is now... There's like 1 million words on that now. I usually do that during the day, whatever other break I have for myself, which is not usually very many. Sometimes I don't get to write till like 2 or 3 in the morning, and that's just how it is. Other times I'm doing this one. This is I have time in the afternoon to finish the story, so that's what we're going to do. What do you want, honey bun? What's up? You want to go lay down in the bed? Your bed's right there. What is it? Come here. All right, yeah. Okay. You lay in the dog bed. You were going at a pretty good pace here. Do you find writing comes more naturally to you at this point? I don't know. It comes naturally. I've got a lot of practice, so the more you do it, the easier it gets usually. And I'm just really trying to finish this up because I feel like I can finish it up right now. And then we'll do future streams on how to publish this, because that's what a lot of people like that. Like, how do I get it, how do I get it out? I'll do all that too. We'll do the revision, and then we'll do the whole publishing thing. The publishing part is the part that makes it real for a lot of people. I'm sure it's now out there for people to read and criticize, which I think holds a lot of potential writers back. Yeah, I've talked about this in the book. A lot of people say they're perfectionists when they're really just afraid of somebody not liking what they do. They're afraid of the social the feeling of inadequacy that comes from somebody not liking what you do. Let me tell you, you can have an editor, you can pay people thousands of dollars to edit your manuscript. There's still going to be a typo when you ship it. Harry Potter ships with typos. And number two, somebody's going to hate it. So you're going to get a 1-star review. And like, but I worked so hard on it. It's like, that has nothing to do with you. I got a 1-star review on one of my early books from somebody who would write 1-star reviews for every sci-fi novel that came out. Every single one. He wrote like 100, 200 reviews a day. Amazon never banned him from it. Turns out he was another science fiction author, but just just messed up in the head. So that what he wanted to do was to just go around giving 1-star reviews to every book because he thought that would make his book better. I don't know. It was just really bizarre. What's really funny is that like the review is a really hilarious review because it's like horribly misspelled. You know, there's like he uses the wrong words and it's misspelled with no punctuation. It's really funny. But yeah, people are afraid of criticism. It's real. It sucks. gonna have to break this one up into several chapters. Right now it's all like chapter 7, which is not gonna work. We're gonna have to break it up because it's just gonna be too long compared to the other scenes there. So thank you for doing this all and answering our questions about the writing world. You're welcome. Saw my own work back. I gave up on so long. Watching you now is giving me inspiration. Good. Alright, now we're finally at the next chapter here, or next scene. Because I don't need, the rest of this is going to be boring, so we don't need to show, like, write a paragraph of them walking out to find her. We'll just do this scene where she's putting the heart back in Xander's body. Styles. 14,500. I literally just started writing a short story I've had in mind for about 3 years just because the stream got me in the mood. Great. Random question. Do you think word seek puzzles have any benefit towards intelligence or critical thinking? I think they're good for kids to practice spelling and that kind of stuff. So in a roundabout sort of way, yeah. But, there were no word searches in the 14th century, and yet there were really smart people. I doubt Plato did a word search. I doubt Archimedes did a word search. Right. But I think they help kids spell. They're part of, you got to attack language and spelling from a lot of different angles if you want kids to be on top of it and to thrive. We teach kids to read far younger than the ancients did, really. And it's hard to get them practicing all that and willing to do that. So I think they have benefits, but I'm not going to say that I don't think they raise your IQ. I would doubt that. But I haven't tested it. Nor do I think, for instance, I don't think word searches are going to help with your critical thinking necessarily. They help with pattern recognition, maybe. So they're an exercise towards intelligence. You know what I mean? But, it's not applying it, so... I think this is the end of the story. We just kind of banged it out here. Banged it out. Here's an out of focus. Yeah, this one's all out of focus. That's too bad. Don't always do these improvs perfectly. Whatever. There we go. know how to spell sorcerer. I'm gonna end it there for now. If I come up with like a better ending, then I'll just put that in. All right, but that's the end of this one. 15,000 words, so we hit it on the dot. It's a little bit long for most publications. It's at the top end. You know, I could cut some stuff, but I think I got what I wanted to get out of this. You know. Like, I'd be tempted to cut a little bit from this last scene, but I just kind of wanted to tie up everything and, like, leave on a hopeful moment. You know? That'd be good. Watching the sky. That's good. All right, that's it. That's the story. That's the whole story. Astros play at home in the Astrodome. I don't know what you're talking about, George. Sorry. When was the Space Cowboys Constellation Park built? I don't know. Alright. So, yep, I think I guys can't see the word count here. It's 15,000. So, once we cut this out, it'll hit like 15,000 pretty much on the dot. I'll do another stream. I'll show you how to format it. It's pretty much already formatted. I think I'm in Times New Roman. I'll probably change it to Arno or something else. 50 pages. It'll be about 50 pages when we're done. So, there you go. Alright. That one is in the bag. So we'll move on to the next one. I want to start writing. People have been asking for a follow-up to Live in the Pod and Eat Bugs, and I have a good one in mind, so I might do that one. So thanks for stopping by. This one was a little longer. I meant to do like a music stream and this, but I'll just do this today, I think, because it is dinner time, and I'm gonna go have. I don't know what I'm gonna have. A hamburger and some French fries, maybe. I don't know. Thanks for the stream and answering the questions. These are pretty cool. Thanks for stopping by. I really appreciate it. I get to listen to a lot of my own music. It's fun to promo stuff. Anyway, let's promo some books. What are some books you can read? If you like this book that I wrote live for you. So this one's kind of on the horror side. So let me find some. Hold on. All right. Do I have a copy of Wasting Desert here? Come on, I got you. There it is. All right, you want more fantasy horror? There you go. Wasting Desert. The Wasting Desert. Yeah. So you can do that one. That's a cool one. Al-Shafalda. This is a weird one. This is kind of mythic fantasy. A lot of people, I don't know. This one, I knew this one wasn't going to be a big hit when I wrote it, but that's part of the cool things about being me is I can do whatever I want to do. So you should read it, check it out. That is a 5-act tragedy, actually. Water of Awakening. This is an Odyssey format. One of my favorite books that I've written. Just a blast to write, blast to read, and just I was so into it at the time. It was a great experience. So check those out, and I will see you all next time. Can you please recommend some of your sci-fis? I don't. How much sci-fi have I written? Not that much. Demon Ex Machina. You can actually get this one for free if you're on my mailing list. dvspress.com/free book. I'll put it here. Hold on. Pull it up. There we go. And so there you go. You get that one for free. There's also Prophet of the God Seed. I don't know where I have a copy of that around somewhere. Prophet of the God Seed. And then there's some sci-fi and some of the other stuff that I do too. Voices of the Void. Yeah, Voices of the Void is sci-fi horror. I don't know if I have a copy of that. But yeah, Voices of the Void. Thank you. That's sci-fi horror. This is sci-fi horror too, but it's more like Lovecraftian kind of stuff. Boy, it looks cool on the camera. Yeah. What else? Yeah, I might do a music stream where I like explain how I do everything, because people sometimes like that. They're like, oh, how I set it up, how I do it, all the patches I use for the synths and for the guitar and all that kind of stuff. Kind of set all that up for people. Here's the music only channel. You can actually I'll just link the video. And yeah, Patreon, you get a free book every month. This month's free book is going to be Shadow and Smoke, I think. So I'll have the whole Moonsong trilogy will be free. You can get all of them for free by being on the Patreon. And then what? Ko-Fi. Sorry. Out cut the lawn, got my nose a little tickled. But I'm not taking any more allergy meds. I think I'm just not going to do those anymore. They never work. Anyway. Alright. Okay. That should be everything. Have a great one, guys. I'll see you all next time. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. We've got to come up with a title for this book. So we're going to come up with a title. We're going to come up with a blurb. We're going to format this for a paperback. And we're going to design a cover. And we're going to design a paperback cover. I might put this on Kindle Vela for a little bit. I might put this on Kindle Vela. If you are supporting me on my Substack or my Patreon, if you're supporting me on YouTube too, I'll let you have free copies of this book that we just wrote. Anyway, you can get the current copy. Like I make a paid subs post on all those platforms that if you just want to read this, you can read it. Otherwise, you can read it as I'm writing it live. You can just watch the video again, and there's the book. You know what I mean? So anyway, all that stuff, that should be everything. Have a great one, and I'll see you all next time.